By all accounts, including my own, Dragon Quest XI is a great game. It might even be one of the best Dragon Quests ever, and I've been a big fan of the series for a while. It has fun characters, a grand, diverse world, these things, crafty magic, great kingdoms, these things. Oh, what the fuck is that? Sure, it's got a lot going for it, but it's not perfect, which is why today I want to discuss the top 5 worst things about Dragon Quest XI. Number 5, the battle camera. A lot of these things are going to come down to taste, and some are even plain trivial. The default camera setting is pretty trash. It's meant to promote free roam, which is a unique concept, except that it has no bearing on gameplay, and will get completely cumbersome after a few battles. I'm honestly not sure why it was even included in the game. It's like someone on the staff was a huge fan of Final Fantasy XII, meaning he loves free roaming combat, boring politics, and disappointment. And also wears whatever this is to see his parents. Granted, out of all these concessions, I'm glad this camera mode was the one we had to make, but the game does a poor job of letting you know you can change it in the options. Or I'm just really dumb. I'll let you decide. And experience a much more cinematic Dragon Quest VIII style combat. For shame. Number 4, Silvan Doh. Not all characters were created equal. I quite like most of the characters, from Rab and his oldness, to Eric and his loyalty, to Jade and her martial arts skills. Yeah, I respect those skills. Unfortunately, like most RPGs with an excess of characters, at least one of them has to be a dud. Welcome Silvan Doh, an aggressively effeminate jester who tags along on the hero's journey and annoyingly lets the party know he's alive in just about every cutscene. It's telling about the importance of a character when his purpose for being with the party is completely different than everyone else's. He also has no real relationship to the problem, and all of his plot points serve as a big joke. Add in the fact that he's almost useless on the team, save for being probably the best buffer in the game. He does almost no damage, he has the worst heals in the game, and his special move is dropping balls on the enemy. To be honest, he's not that horrible of a character. I've seen much worse. But he's definitely the throwaway of the group. Number 3, Sidequests. The Witcher 3, Fallout 4, Frogger the Great Quest. Sometimes, side quests add the flavor to round out an already great game. Dragon Quest is the opposite. These lifeless chores are more along the lines of your World of Warcrafts or other MMOs. Simple fetch quests and kill enemies and come back. If this was 10 years ago, this would have been okay, back when games weren't expected to be so well-rounded, DLC was just a funny idea, and cis men were men. There are few reasons to complete any of these quests, save for a few good opportunities for crafting items. Completionists will fret over these little details, but most people should just avoid them. They are pretty much pointless. Number 2, Zones. Remember Dragon Quest VIII, how when you entered the world you were really entering the world? Somehow, almost 15 years later, Dragon Quest XI is relegated to zones, and tiny zones at that. Some of them, especially on horseback, take less than 10 seconds to get from point to point. I stay hard longer than that. It's a treat to see the beautiful, distant scenery in the background, but it immediately comes crashing down when you realize that there is a limit, and you have to run into that end zone, which becomes all the more painful when combined with the Number 1, load times. Whoa, the load times on this game blow my mind. I'm immediately reminded of the PlayStation 1. Is this Dragon Quest XI or Cool Borders? You will see these load screens all the time. It got to the point where I would decide not to travel back if I forgot something, simply to avoid the crazy load screen. Watching my character's silhouettes was pure torture, and I can't fathom why in 2018 this is still a thing. The game is beautiful, but it doesn't look that graphically intensive. I'm no game developer, and maybe there's something greater going on here that I don't understand. But looking at plenty of other games out these days, which make this map look like a McDonald's playhouse in comparison, and have almost zero load times, it gets super frustrating having to deal with this problem. But overall, this game is great. Did you play it yet? What were your least favorite parts of the game? Put them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.